Hey, how's it going? It's Nick with Nick's forecast. It's June 6th, coming at you today. A lot of stuff going on with the economy, gas prices, Saudi's per barrel, inflation keeps going up through the roof. Interest rates to me are still really low because they're around 5%. So they were at 5, I think. I just read. The stock market, it's not very much today. You got a lot of crazy factors going on right now. But what's going to become with the new real estate market is going to be flexibility of deals, the flexibility for doing new deals, because sellers, they used to be all hard. Now everyone's going nuts, which because a lot of homes now are staying for sale for long periods of time. I mean, unless you're certain rich, there are, but like Hampton and the Hamptons, about hour and a half from New York, or 2 or 3 hours from New York, something like that. Whatever. I'm not from there, so I don't know. Anyways, say it's a couple hours from New York. Exclusive place. A lot of billionaires, a lot of people got cashola, but right now having to drop all their rents because there's nobody now. They've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of homes for rent that they can't move. Some homes are renting them up down at 45,000 a month. Some are dropped a lot lower than that. Things are taking. I mean, in certain parts of New York City where they're in Manhattan really good, but that's kind of the exception, but the thing is, a lot of places now, homes are starting to sit, and the rate's going to go up. And I'm sitting there talking to a local coffee shop owner today because gas prices are so high. People are starting to skip and not buy houses anymore, and that hurts his business. And so, this real estate, because it gets back to the DTI, I keep talking about the debt to income ratio. It's for buyers that are just buying their first or second homes. You're trying to get an FA or VA, or you're doing a zero down loan, or was zero to DTI, then going 55%. They used to be able to go 60, 65, but they won't allow it. But right now there's a debt bomb ready to explode. I think if you're a seller, you're really, most of these agents, they don't teach any of this stuff anymore because a lot of these agents have been conditioned basically because of low interest rates, they can do whatever they want. Those days are over. And a lot of these agents are very well trained, and they just are kind of out there. Some have learned some stuff because they've been in other industries, but that big change and the wind's coming and the bend in the road is starting to happen. Big bomb is going to go off, like it's starting to, but it's going to be really big. The stock market is going to get really nailed, but it's the bond market that's really going to. And a lot of these mortgage companies, funded the secondary market for your local mortgage company. XYZ Mortgage is getting these good subprime mortgages, non-conforming mortgages, alt-A mortgages on the secondary, and you have a score of 500 to 550, whatever loan, you can still get in. Those days are going to go away here down the road. 8% of most of the loans are government backed, but you still have a whole segment market that's buying anything. And that's a rough bet because that's really hard to do, because California, Florida, and Texas, Texas not as much. I say California, Florida have the most funders for mortgage brokers to go to, and credit unions, because credit unions don't securitize banks. They securitize most of their stuff. Smaller banks that have like one or maybe 5 times they use secondary market money, but there still doesn't matter. Credit unions, and they're not very good. Appraisers usually are not very good either. But the mortgage broker you want to go with, because they got better appraisers and they've got a lot more you can go to as far as are you doing non-prime or subprime, which is the same thing. Are you doing non-conforming loans or alt-A loans? Besides the usual conventional VA and FHA loans, which most people can't apply for. Most people don't have 3 to 5% to put down. I mean, there's a lot of variable in that, so that's why I bring that up a lot, because it's something, you know, flexibility is going to become a major issue. And you know, it's just going to be one of those things where you're going to need to be a lot more flexible in the stuff that you're doing as far as deals. And the problem is that listings are going to have to get off their high horse. This could be a potential down the road, especially if you're a real estate agent. As the rates keep going up, more and more houses on the market, and people have equity, you can start doing seller carrybacks again, at least some time before they get rid of it, but you can still do it. And there's, you know, I've seen lenders, I get stuff all the time. Some lenders in California doing it, Florida. It's are going to last. Some ones in the Midwest, because Midwest is kind of weird when it comes to that. And so it's just, you know, it's one of those things. The thing is, the flexibility is going to be the financing being flexible. Is the bond market. The bond market's ready just to explode out. A lot of this cool stuff that came out in the last 3 to 6 years is going to go away. So if you're an investor, got money, you're good to go. You get a buyer, you got money, unless you're different. You know, flexibility is going to be the key. If you're doing a commercial deal, I'd only do multifamily stuff. I wouldn't even, unless you're getting a real deal on a commercial building, I wouldn't touch it. Unless the building has got maybe, you know, maybe it's a mixed-use building, I wouldn't touch it, because the thing is, a commercial, if those businesses go out of business, you keep reading about it all over the internet and all over the major sites, the Bloombergs, the CNBCs, CNN Money, Fox Money, you know, Wall Street Journal, all this stuff, and there's sites out where people are starting to freak, and businesses are getting close to closing their doors, even though they come out saying more jobs and this is that. That's great, but the problem is inflationary stuff, and people can't buy. It's like when you go to the supermarket inside the brand, people now are switching up and they're buying the name. Walmart's got great value. Kroger's got their own brand, the K brand. I mean, as an example, Safeway has their own brand. Since actually bought them, but they changed. Price Cutters has got their own deal. I mean, AG, which is a monster supplier in the U.S., they've got their own brand. So, and because they market, so a lot of these own stuff. So that's kind of the deal there. You know, I'm saying flexibility when I'm getting back to is, if you're a buyer and you have a listing agent, it's on a high, sitting on a high horse, and they're not being flexible, make sure you tell your buyer to bet a deal, or go around the agent and go to the broker if they're being real jerks about it. But you have to for it, and you have to prep your buyers. They need to be flexible also. Do a deal, they need to be prepared if they don't get the property because you have an inflexible seller on price or whatever, bounce out of it. You have some. I know gas prices are high, but that's, you know, what I used to do is send them the information. They go ahead and print it out, or they use their phone. They pick the ones they wanted, and then I go ahead and map house 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and there you go. Now gas prices are so high, it's really taking a bite. A lot of real estate brokers are on margins right now, and with all the companies I named off the other day, prices are low. These are just, as I mentioned, stock prices. These are national companies. They're on New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, you know, and that's why I put it, just to show what they were a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Stock prices crumbled. Saying that is that it doesn't matter what kind your agent is saying. A lot of these brokers are on margins. It says they're 1099s, and they don't get anything from their brokers very much. A lot of them work out of their home office, and because when they had the COVID stuff really, really bad, which is starting to come back, you know, that's just the way it was. so they only meet at the office. A lot of agents work out of their homes. They'll just meet you at or a local coffee shop, or meet at the library, at your house, whatever. Some don't meet at offices that much anymore. It's just as a big offices that used to be are kind of a thing in the past. More of a small office of convenience. But a lot of these brokers cash, and they don't help their agents and all, because agents by law are 29, so they do their own thing. The only problem is they work for basically a broker. Tell you is that a lot of times agents, when they go out, they're not going to go out as much as they used to, because gas prices, until they come down $3 or $2.80. They're not going to go out as much as they used to, or an investor to go out and look at the property yourself and tell them, hey, I want to look at 1, 2, 3, or 4 properties, and that's it. And that may not be some what I call serial buyers that like to go out there, especially when they're buying. This doesn't apply to commercials as much, because commercials are a whole different. But a serial buyer wastes the agent's time. And so, that's a thing. And you have to be flexible as an agent, but you don't want your time to either. Get that a lot. So that's why I just, you have every MLS has it. You send them out to look and look. They see it they really like, which usually happens. You go out, boom, if they like it, read it out, get everything in order, boom. And make sure you got all in order too. But it's going to be easier now. It won't have to be as high, which is good. There's going to be more flexibility as far as from the selling agents, that they're smart, and if they tell their owners, hey, you need to be more on this, the financing, they pull their credit, they did all the stuff, they've got it nailed down. There's no 100% guarantee on the financing thing, and these listing agents used to really go off on it. They can't do that stuff anymore up in the U.S., but they're going to burn out too. And so if you're a listing agent, you need to be flexible in what you're doing. You're saying, oh, well, no, I'm not going to do that, blah, blah, blah. No, wrong answer. Because you're not in charge anymore. The buyer is. And actually, when I was a mortgage broker, I had a whole ton of range was about, let's just say, 200 to 500, because I was hitting more of a middle class buyer. It was good for me, because I would basically double, 6 tuple on a deal. And as it kept going up and up and up. But the thing is, I had a lot of agents that were doing multi-million-dollar homes. They might be listening to a $100,000 piece of dirt down the road, whatever. But a lot of those agents knew I was a mortgage broker, and my cousin too, direct, and they would send us the stuff first, because buyers are the gold mine. And a lot of you'll say, no, you have to have the listings and all that. No, that's a bunch of crap, because when that stuff, your stuff's sitting there, I knew one guy that had 345 listings before he lost license 10 years ago, and he was a scored away agent, even though my cousin used to get into it with him, but we still did a lot of deals, because he was like us. He was a mortgage broker too, he was scored away. But the problem is he had a lot of homes sit, because concentrated more on that than the buyer thing, until he started seeing what me and my cousin were doing, and he started changing that and started selling a lot of stuff himself. And he used to do it, but not on this magnitude that he was doing before. So 45 listings, bam, he sold off 60 of them, blah, 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 because he started doing mortgages. Actually, his wife did. But anyways, so, the thing is, I always tell, if you're a real estate agent, get your mortgage broker's license. For mortgage, get your real estate agent, so you can keep making money, because when the times get tough, you need to be able to do more. Do not. It's like mortgage too. You're only concentrating one thing, but that gravy train's over. And that flexibility, you need sellers, which a lot isn't really happening right now. And I keep seeing a lot of this stuff, and I just keep reading story. I read all the journals. I get everything sent to me from most of the major, and stuff like that. So I see a lot of stuff that's going on all over the U.S. I mean, the U.S. is so big. The U.S. was a lot different than, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, which are all completely different. Essentially, it's even more 4 states. You got Northern California to Sacramento, then you got Then you have the Northern Cal, Central California, and Southern, and they're all completely different. And Los Angeles is in Orange County and San Diego County are almost like their own countries, anyways. So you go to the Midwest and the Southeast and the Northeast and blah blah blah, and it's all different. Every state's different. All the laws are different. Deals need to come together. The thing is that as time moves here, basically there's going to be a lot of hope, and they're going to raise the rates here real soon. So I figure go up to 5 3/4. When it gets to 7, 7.5, 8%, and that's when things are going to start to see tons of houses on the market. Now, bomb really hits, which I think it's going to, with all the, I mean, these are all basically all over the place and blah 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 blah. Basically, the debt bomb with the debt, and the debt means bonds, because bond tell you to pay that person back, quote unquote. It's not an exact quote, but I'm saying. So all these could be major problems, but the thing is, if you got cash and you can use that, you're good to go. See, the thing is, 2008 went into 2009. It didn't come out until about 2013 when things started to change. The thing is, a lot of the lenders got blown out of the water. So you basically just had conventional, all they were conventional loans. You had FHA and VA. You had some big giant builders saying stupid stuff. FHA is a new, which is the stupidest thing I ever heard. It's not a loan. It's a government loan. It allows you more flexibility. VA, you have to, like me, and you can use it, even though I never use the VA loan because it's just stupid stuff in there. It's better to get some of the other loans. Now, it might be a decent loan, maybe, but it's a full doc loan, just like it, and F different. Requirements are different. But a lot of times I only did subprime or non-prime, as they call it now, not loans. And bulk of my stuff was non-conforming subprime. That's the market I was in, because that's the majority of my people when they came in. So, different type of market. And I sold for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. Basically, you go up the ladder and you start going from the bottom over the top. I remember Seattle in 90, talking 27 years ago, the home was only $132,000, and now it's $750,000 to $850,000 where you're at. In what part of which county? And now that's going to drop too, because it's starting to drop, because it's not going to last forever. Portland, same thing, all the way through all the way through California, Southwest, Midwest, East, Northeast. A lot of the stuff is starting at middle, we're going to call it. A lot of the stuff is on out. But back to what I was saying, flexibility is going to be a big key to success. And a lot of these real estate agents that are working for these companies, unless the owners are really rich, working for the broker owners are going to go out of business. A lot of these franchises are going to go out. And what mama is bad, there are a couple franchises that are smaller that owners may stay in, but they'll probably end up dropping the franchise, get out of their contracts, depending on how they have it written up. But a lot of the mom and pops that have their own, maybe have just one place independent, they might have 5, 10, 15, 20 of them. They'll probably end up surviving. After 2008, the best thing I saw was a bunch of independents popped up all over the place. It was awesome. A lot of them kicked the franchise out. A lot of them started their own business. They had their associate brokers, and they just said, screw you. So the franchises, they've got issues too. And they have some good points and bad points dependent. But the thing is, if you're a real estate agent, you're not being helped at all by most of these broker owners just aren't doing anything for you. And the problem is you're not well trained enough, and that's a problem. Easing your flexibility, because as a listing agent or a buyer's agent, it depends how well planned you are. Are you prepping the buyers and sellers for the reality of what's out there? And this is, I see, as a major issue, because you just don't prep them. It's not besides just a checklist, but you need to prep them, if a low price comes in, what price comes in, what if this happens, this happens, this happens. I mean, there's just a whole flexibility. There's a whole quantitative amount of things that can happen, but you need to prep them. Like if you're a seller, you need to prep them. Yeah, you're probably going to get a low ball offer on your property. You're not going to get full. Okay, you may get full price, but I doubt it. Your property's been on the market for a while. It's been around 30 days. I need a price reduction. Did you get the price reduction in advance? I always did. I had a price reduction in advance, ready to go in the first 30 days. Always. You know, akin to Reese when they go ahead and say they're going to buy your home and all that stuff. Essentially, Craig Proctor did it. But it's a good thing. And they've got a 90-point checklist. Is cool. But in the akin to Reese one, when they're doing it, they got price reductions to get, and you got to go through a whole step before they buy your home. Okay, because they're not going to buy that property thing sold first. But excuse me, but if you're just doing real estate and you need to have that price reduction right out of the gate, and that's just being smart. And anyways, and you know, there were times where I screwed up a long time back. I should have did it in the beginning, and I waited, and it was the dumbest thing I did. And even lost you listings here and there because I waited and blah, blah, blah. And some other agent came out and snagged it and got them to reduce the price to where it should have been because I didn't reduce it because I was experienced. Now this is a long time ago. And, you know, this is in the you know, late 90s, like 98, 99, when, you know, when I was starting to really get on it. I say 98, 97 when I was starting to really figure things out. And then it started to accelerate and take off. And I just said, screw this, and I just did what I had to do. But even, you know, like in 2010 to 12, you know, I listened, you know, even I got wiped out, but I was still doing real estate stuff, loans, and still doing estate. I was still, the prices went way down because a lot of stuff was being clocked off in foreclosures and this and that. Back more than likely, the hit won't be as bad in some areas, but it could be. A lot of it's just a variable. It's hard to predict. But the thing is, flexibility is still going to be the key in doing deals. It's the key in doing this. You're an investor, you're a buyer, first-time buyer, second-time buyer. Flexibility is the key. Estate agent, mortgage broker, you need to make a buyer. You need to understand that. Seller, you really need to understand the flexibility. Also, too, if you're a real estate agent, you need to tell your seller if they've got a lot of equity, maybe they need to take a 20% carryback. Maybe something you need to sell to them with getting interest, blah, 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 blah. And I can get a lot of detail because I have one day I'm going to redo it again, rehash it. Everyone knows about it. But carrybacks will start coming back. Lease option, they'll probably start coming back. Real estate contracts down the road, yeah, they're probably going to start coming back too as things start really hitting the wall. So, like I said, being flexible is going to give you more opportunity to make more money and to do more deals. And also, too, for an investor or buyer, right now, the multifamily market right now is the strongest market right now. Okay, thanks to guys like Grant Cardone. It's one because he keeps talking about it, and he's a billionaire. He can do whatever the hell he wants, and he's in a 650 Gulfstream. You can do whatever you want. Driving brand new Bentleys, yeah. So you know, as you build it out and you look at it, the multifamily right now is the best thing you can do right now. Now, the thing about multifamily, the wall they're going to hit is right now the job is kind of right in the middle. But the thing is, soon it's going to hit up against the wall, and a lot of these companies are going to level off because it's inflationary. Gas, as they go up, cuts in. Also, too, the inflationary stuff's too expensive. People have to pay for gas before they buy this, or that. Like I said, a local cop right down the road, smoke every morning, and basically I'm talking to the owner, and like a lot less people are coming in because they got to worry about gas. Now, gas where I'm at, it's only, you know, it's 4.59 a gallon. Excuse me. Depending where what county you're in, 4.49, 4.49, so 4.50 a gallon. And the U.S. a lot of are 5+, 7+, 8+, you know, depending on where you're at. You know, in one part of California, Mendocino was almost $10. So it's going to vary, but that cuts in people's profits. I mean, people are not going to be able to afford to buy anything. Like I said before, you know, be full, the more flexibility, the more cool things you're going to be able to do and accomplish. And if you guys got any questions, go to forecast.com. Go to nickforecast.com. Go book at Nick's Forecast. Or if you need funding for commercial deals, business funding of all varying types, or if you want to build an apartment building or something like go to cobrafunds.biz, cobrafunds.biz. Anyways, you guys have a good one. Till next time.